So you want to have a successful handmade business. How exactly do you do that? Well, we can teach all of the skills, but oftentimes the thing that is stopping people from being successful isn't that they don't know what to do. It's that they have the wrong mindset and they're approaching things the wrong way. In today's video, I'm going to outline the 5 P's of successful business. If you get these 5 things right, chances are you will be successful. Well, hello there, I'm Jess of Create and Thrive. Welcome to today's video. If you don't know who I am, I've been running my own successful handmade business, Ethereal, since 2008. And since 2010, I've been fully self-employed running that business. And a couple of years later, I started Create and Thrive to help other makers like me work out how to turn their handmade hobby into a thriving, profitable business via my blog, podcast, YouTube channel, and more. In today's video, I want to talk about mindset. You might know the things that you need to do, but you aren't doing them, or you aren't doing them the right way, or you aren't doing them in the right way at the right time. Oftentimes this can come down to mindset, not being in the right frame of mind to actually get the work done. So today I want to share with you 5 things, I call them the 5 P's, that you really need to get straight in your head in order to be successful. So P number one is to be positive. Now, I'm not talking about being Pollyanna, everything's okay, la la la. I'm talking about having a deep fundamental trust in yourself, knowing that you can figure out and overcome any issues and problems that arise, and also really being kind to yourself. Negative self-talk is a huge problem that so many of us struggle with, but there are ways to overcome it. Things like mindfulness meditation, maybe affirmations, whatever works for you to switch your mindset. For me, exercise is a huge thing. If I don't exercise regularly, I feel all gluggy and groggy and I don't think very well. So I've worked out that that's a really important thing that I can do in my life to make sure that I have a better, positive mindset. Whatever it is for you, figure it out and do that thing regularly, because when you get yourself in that positive mindset, problems don't seem so big and insurmountable. But when you come at things from a negative mindset, you can easily be roadblocked because every little problem can get blown out of proportion and seem like a really big deal. Number 2 is to be passionate about what you do. You need to love your work. Now, I don't mean you're going to love it all the time, because sometimes you aren't going to love it. And this is a bit of a silent truth that maybe people don't talk about a lot. But when you take a hobby, a thing you love to do, and you turn it into a job, there will be times where you don't love it so much anymore. You know, the time you make that same item for the 100th time, it might feel a little bit monotonous. But when you get to the base of it all, when you get underneath those little everyday tasks, you need to know that you're doing something worthwhile, you're doing something that you care about, that makes you happy, that makes you feel like you're doing some good in the world. So you need to be passionate about your thing. Because if you lose that passion for good, chances are you're going to lose any drive you have to move the business forward. And not only do you need to be passionate about your thing, it really helps if you're passionate about business as well. If you're passionate about experimenting, trying new things, learning new stuff, all of those things that come from being in business, being excited about learning and trying those things really will help you to be successful moving forward. Number 3, you need to be proactive. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to tell you what to do and when to do it. Sure, you can, take courses, join a membership like my Thriver Circle. And, I've got a year-long course, Your Year to Thrive in there, that will literally every single week tell you what to do if you want that sort of guidance. But even if you have that sort of guidance, at the end of the day, you're the one who has to make it happen. Nobody can do it for you. So you need to be proactive. You need to get out there and try stuff, learn stuff, find the answers to questions. As Marie Forleo says, everything is figure-outable, and you can absolutely figure it out. You just have to get out there and do it. So be proactive, be the person who's in charge, because you're the boss. And that's one of the wonderful things about having your own business, is that it all comes down to you. Also, one of the terrifying things about having a business is that it all comes down to you. You're the one who needs to make it happen. So be proactive and make it happen. The more you fail, the more you will learn. And the more you try, the more you will succeed. You really got to be willing to take risks. That's a big part of running a business, is not being risk averse. If you're risk averse, you really hate taking any sort of risk, running a business is going to be a real challenge. So, there are levels of this. I'm never going to jump out of a plane. Not interested. But I'm not scared of taking risks in my business. Small ones. They don't have to be massive. But every day, every time you try something new, it's a bit of a risk. So it can be a little bit scary. But when those risks pay off, man, it is worth it. Number 4, you need to be patient. This is not going to happen overnight. It might not even happen in a week or a month or 6 months or a year. It might even take years for your business to grow to the point where you want it to get to. Are you ready to put in the time? If you are, congrats, you're on the right track. If you're not, maybe take a step back and decide if this is really what you want to be doing. Because, as I always say, business is a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, you can find success quickly, but it's unlikely. Most businesses take a good few, 6, 12 months, even years to actually grow to the point where they're making good money. If you're ready to be in it for the long haul, that's awesome. You're in the right place. So just remember to be patient and don't compare your beginning with other people's middle or advanced stage of their business. If you're comparing yourself to a business owner like myself, who's been running my handmade business for over 10 years, it's not a great comparison, because I've had all of that time to build up a customer base, to learn what I'm doing, to try new things, and to make all the mistakes that you are yet to make. Hopefully you won't make as many as I did. But long story short, don't compare yourself to other people. Your business will take as long as your business takes to grow, and it's up to you how fast or slow that happens. All you can do is invest more time or more money in order to grow a business. Most of us don't have a lot of money to throw at it. That means we need to invest time, and that's not something that you can speed up. It's something you just have to be willing to work through in order to get to your goal. And finally, number 5 is you need to be pragmatic. As I said earlier, you don't want to be Pollyanna. You don't want to be like, everything is wonderful, even when it's not. You want to make sure that you're realistic about everything. So I like to say you need to keep your feet on the ground and your head in the clouds at the same time, because doing one or the other is going to cause you problems. When you've got both going on, you're going to be in the right frame of mind. So be pragmatic, be realistic about what you can achieve in the time that you have. For example, if you only have a couple of hours a week to work on your business, don't be overestimating what you can do in that time, because you're just going to set yourself up for disappointment when you can't get all the things done that you really want to get done. Be pragmatic about the time you have. Be pragmatic about the money you have to spend and invest in your business. Don't go spending more money than you can afford, because you'll just put yourself in a bad situation. So be pragmatic about what you can achieve with the time you have and the resources you have. Now, that's not being pessimistic. Being pragmatic is being optimistic but realistic, right? So you want to be like, yep, these are all the things I want to achieve. If I look at what my life is really like right now, what can I actually achieve in the time that I have? And that way, you'll set yourself up for success and for feeling good about what you've achieved, rather than overestimating and then setting yourself up for feeling bad because you haven't achieved some probably not achievable crazy goal that you've set yourself just by having your head in the clouds, right? So that is a really important step. Another thing here is don't neglect the boring stuff. It's easy to do, but it's going to get you in trouble. Things like your bookkeeping, keeping track of, your stats, the nitty-gritty business details. You need to keep track of that stuff. You need to keep on top of it and be aware of what's happening in your business financially, and be aware of what's happening when it comes to, traffic and people finding you. Don't pretend like things are better than they are. It's not going to help. So be pragmatic about all of those things, and you'll set yourself up to be a slow and steady success. And that is it for today. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you want a little bit of guidance and support to help your business become a slow and steady success, come on over and join me in the Thriver Circle. It's my membership community and educational hub for makers. There are hundreds of other makers just like you in there, learning how to turn their handmade hobby into a thriving, profitable business. And of course, not only will you get a whole bunch of workshops, members-only podcasts, one-on-one work with me, and you also get access to my Your Year to Thrive course that I mentioned earlier, where you get a lesson a day for a whole year, taking you through everything you need to learn and work on in order to have a successful handmade business. You can check it out now. Just pop over to thrivercircle.com. I'll put a link in the description for you. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up to help other people find it. And of course, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos on handmade business. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.